Our topic today is the trigonometric equations. We are told to solve for x given 4 sine of x plus 20 equals to 3. For x between 0 and 360 degrees. So, we start by taking 4 sine of x plus 20 equals to 3. Divide through by 4 to get sine of x plus 20 equals to 0.75. If you get sine inverse of 0.75, you get x plus 20 equals to 48.59. So, because the value for sine here is positive, you draw the unit circle here. And you can see clearly that that value can only be in the first quadrant or quadrant number 2. So, in the first quadrant, x plus 20 will be equal to 48.59. In quadrant number 2, x will be 180 minus 48.59 to get 131.41. If you take one whole turn, that is 360, you add to the first quadrant again, 48.59, you get 408.59. Since you have been told x is in between 0 degrees and 360 degrees, you come here and get the final value of x, which will be, when you take this 20 on this side, it will be 48.59 minus 20 to get 28.59. The other value will be 131.41 minus 20 to get 111.41. Then 408.59 minus 20, that will be greater than 360. And we want values between 0 and 360. And therefore, the value for x can only be these two here. On to the next example. You are told to solve for theta given cos of 3 theta plus 120 equals to root 3 over 2. For theta between 0 and 180 degrees. We have said here, we take cos inverse of root 3 over 2 from your calculator. If you get cos inverse of root 3 over 2, you get that 3 theta plus 120 equals to 30 degrees. But we have said 30 degrees is positive cosine. So given your unit circle here, for cosine to be positive, it must be in the first quadrant or in the fourth quadrant. Therefore, our 3 theta plus 120 equals to 30 degrees. In the fourth quadrant, that would be 360 minus 30 to get 330. If you take one turn, that would be 360. You add to 30, that would be 390 degrees. If you take one full turn, 360, then you add 330, you get 690. And therefore, from there, you make theta the subject, you get theta equals to, the first one, take 120 on this side, that is 30 minus 120, divide by 3 to get negative 30 degrees. The next one, you get 330 minus 120 divided by 3, you get 70 degrees. The next one, you get 390 minus 120 divided by 3 to get 90 degrees. And the next one is 690 minus 120 divided by 3 to get 190 degrees. And because you have been told for theta between 0 degrees and 180, you check for the values that are in between 0 and 180 degrees for the final answer. And that is 70 degrees and 90 degrees. Those are the only two values that are in between 0 and 180 degrees. The next question, you're told, solve for theta given sine of 2 theta equals to negative 0.5. So here, you start, the equation is sine 2 beta equals to 0.5. You get sine inverse of 0.5. To get 2 beta, sine inverse of 0.5 is 30 degrees. We don't get negative 0.5, but sine inverse of 0.5. Negative is for the quadrant. This negative means that our 30 degrees is where the sign is negative. And in our case here, in our first quadrant, it's positive. It's positive here, so it's negative here and negative here. So our 2 theta, therefore, equals to this 180 plus 30 to get 210. In the fourth quadrant, again where sign is negative, this is 360 minus 30 to get 330. If you take one whole turn, that is 360, then you add to 210, you get 570 degrees. If you take one whole turn, then you add to 330, you get 690. And therefore, our theta is 210 divided by 2, that is 105 degrees. The other one is 330 divided by 2 to get 165 degrees. The other one is 570 divided by 2 to get 285 degrees. And the other one is 690 divided by 2 to get 345. And all the four answers are the possible values for. The last question, you're told, solve for x given 3 tan squared x minus 4 tan x minus 4 equals to 0. For x between 0 and 180 degrees. So, to work out this equation here, you start by letting tan of x to be y. Therefore, you have 3 tan squared x, 3y squared minus 4y minus 4 equals to 0. You form a quadratic equation. So, to solve for y, we use the factorization method. So, 3, if you take a times c, you get 3 times negative 4, that is negative 12. And if you add the two values a plus c, you should get a negative 4. And those values are 6 and 2, where our 6 is a negative. So, this will be 3y squared minus 6y plus 2y minus 4 equals to 0. And from there, if you take these two, factor out what is common, that is 3y, you're left with y minus 2. Then these two, factor out what is common, that is 2, you're left with y minus 2. So that is equals to 0. If you group them, you have 3y plus 2y minus 2 equals to 0. And from there, you can see that the first value for y, 3y plus 2 equals to 0. So we are saying y equals to negative 2 over 3. The other value for y minus 2 equals to 0, and therefore y is equals to 2. Remember, you are looking for the value for x and not y. So you come back here and say tan of x, if we consider the first one, equals to negative 2 over. When tan of x equals to negative 2 over 3, then you get tan inverse of x, so that you're left with x. X is equals to, remember here, we only consider 2 over 3. Negative is for the quadrant. So tan inverse of 2 over 3 will give us 33.69. And if you draw your unit circle there, you can clearly see that tan inverse, where tan is negative, then it can only be here in quadrant number 2 and the fourth quadrant. So if you take from here to here, that is 180 minus 33.69, you get the first value of x will be 146.31. That is 180 minus 33.69. The other one is 360 minus 33.69 to get 326.31. We are not yet through, because that is where tan of x is negative 2 over 3. What about when y is 2? Then we are saying tan of x equals to 2. Tan inverse of 2 will give us x equals to, tan inverse of 2 is 63.43. Because now this one is positive, if you draw your unit circle here again, where tan is positive is in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant, and therefore the value for x here will be, the first one is 63.43, and the next one is 180 plus 63.43 to get 243.43. So the final answer x was supposed to be between 0 and 180 degrees. So if you come to the first values for x, where we have 146.31, you check what is in between 0 and 180, and you can clearly see that 146.31 is in between 0 and 180. For tan x is equals to 2, for the value of x, which lies between 0 and 180, we only have this one here. So 63.43. And therefore, those are the only two possible values for x between 0 and 180